మైక్ రావట్లేదు, వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు.
సార్ మైక్లో ఉన్నారా?
Sir, your audio is very low, sir. Sir, your audio is very low, sir. Madam, మీరు ఆపే.
సార్ ఈ స్క్రీన్ షాట్ సార్ చెప్పండి సార్
Sir, the problem is solved, sir. You can start your presentation.
సింబల్ మ్యూట్ వస్తుంది ఇక్కడ మ్యూట్ యాక్షన్ ఆడియో అని
Distance. Anyone, is it clear whether only for the organizer or for the participants it is not?
Sir, you can start the presentation, sir.
Is it okay, sir? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is audible, sir. Please, you can share your screen, sir. So everything is okay, sir. You can start.
So the PPT is visible. Can we proceed?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So that's first take this opportunity that the organizing committee of this international conference on digital economy. And special thanks to the principal of our engineering college, Dr. Srivastava, the convener, Dr. Subramanian, local leader, Father Rao, organizing secretary, Prasad Rao, and all the organizing committee members who are backbone to this conference, because these type of conferences are necessary to share the ideas and knowledge of each other to proceed further research activities to the society. So here our presentation is related to optimization, modeling and machine learning approaches for science and engineering applications. So basically I am not a chemistry related person, so I am a mechanical engineer. So but this presentation is common to all the people who works with science and who works with engineering, especially who are working with experimental things. Not simulation and modeling, those who works with experimentation. So this presentation will be very helpful to optimize their process or to optimize their techniques. So before going for the presentation, just I would like to give some simple introduction about what is optimization and what are the key elements in optimization. So optimization is nothing but the process of finding the best possible solution within given set of constraints. So if you are doing some experiments, so there are a lot of combinations, there are a lot of numbers, parameters, constraints. So which parameter, which number, which constraints will give you the best result. So to find that solution within a given set of constraints is called optimization. So it is widely used in science, engineering, economics, data science to improve the efficiency and performance of the process. So here the key components includes objective function, decision variables, feasible region or the optimal solution. So objective function is nothing but the function that needs to be maximized or minimized. So if we take our machining process in mechanical engineering, so we can say the material removal rate should be high, the tool wear should be low. So like that, for each and every result, either you need a highest value or sometimes you need a lowest value. That will be your objective. So the function that needs to be maximized or minimized in an experiment. So coming to the decision variable, the variable that can be adjusted to optimize the objective function. And feasible region is nothing but the set of all possible solution point in the domain space where the scope of the function is 0. So these points are crucial in optimization as they represent the potential extreme. The potential extreme is either a minimum or maximum as per our requirement. So if it is maximum, the highest value which we need as the solution, as an objective. So if it is minimum, the minimum value which we need. So these represents the gradient descent and gradient ascent. So we have different types of optimization tools and techniques. Basically, it is classified into conventional technique and non-conventional techniques. Again, under conventional techniques, we have design of experiments, we have mathematical iterations, linear programming, non-linear programming. So today in our presentation, we are mainly going to see about design of experiments, which includes Kakuchi method, surface response method, random yield designs. So this design of experiments mainly we are going to concentrate. So design of experiment is nothing but a statistical technique which was first proposed by Fisher in early 1920s. So here it refers to the process of planning, designing and analyzing the experiment with valid and objective calculations. So this design of experiment has so many stages, or we can say so many levels. The first level is the problem, hydrogen production. So if it is how much quantities. So coming to the third level, it is problem classification. Again, it has constrained and unconstrained. So if it is constrained, there is no limitation on the variables which you consider for your analysis. For the unconstrained, there are some limitations on the variables which we consider. So the fourth level is variable classification. So again, it may be a continuous variable or mixed variable or integer variable. And last one is function classification. It may be linear, non-linear, differentiable or non-differentiables. So these are the various levels or various stages which you type of experiments. So you make any type of DOE. So those type or those technique functions is the design of experiments, software, or many types of software, or many types of software. So these DOE techniques functions based on these stages. So we have different types of design of experiments like triplet method, scale factorial experiment, full factorial experiments, and other research techniques like Gauss techniques, etc. So we know triplet method is the first and foremost method. There is no procedures, there is no techniques. Basic 2, 3. From our 5 parameters already covered process. At a time, you will change only one parameter or only one variable by keeping all other factors or variables as a constant. So that also not an efficient method. Like the factorial experiment design came, but the problem with factorial design experiment is the total number of experiments that we need to do at that time. So you can see this table. So here I am taking 2 levels. Just I am taking the 2 levels. The entire table is corresponding to this entire table is corresponding only to 2 level design. And we have the variable or parameter. Suppose if your process involves pH as one parameter and temperature as the second parameter. So pH has 2 levels. You can take pH 6 and pH 7. Similarly, temperature has 2 levels. You can take temperature 30 and temperature 40. So for 2 parameter with 2 levels, you need to perform 4 experiments. It is 2 power 2. For the same 2 level, if you have 3 parameters, the first parameter may be pH, as we said earlier, the second parameter is temperature, and the third parameter you can take anything, either solid content conservation like moisture content, or you can take COD levels. So in that case, for 2 levels with 3 parameters, you need to perform 8 number of experiments. So imagine you have 9 different parameters, and each parameter has 2 levels. In the case, more than 500 experiments you want to do. This is just for 2 levels. Suppose if you have 3 levels, like pH 6, pH 7, and pH 8, temperature 30, temperature 40, and temperature 50. So here you need to perform 3 power 9 number of experiments. So which is completely unimaginable. That much number of experiment is not possible. If you do that much number of experiments to get actual solution, so financially you have to spend more. At the same time, you need to spend more time to complete the runs. So to overcome those drawbacks, to save the time, to reduce the number of experiments, We have different techniques like convergent experiments, response surface methodologies, and so on. So I will explain you very well about those things. The first technique which we are going to see here is Takuji method of optimization. So it was first proposed by Dr. Junichi Takuji. So after World War II, Dr. Takuji taken the charge as head for Japan's electrical and communication laboratories. So during the World War II, most of the communication systems were totally trying to solve the issue by changing the problems. There are a lot of problems by solving one by one. But he taken a lot of time. So at that time, he invented this Takuji method to reduce the time and to reduce the experiments to solve the issue. So here he showed that the device could be used not only to improve the quality but also to quantify the improvements made in terms of savings as well as economic aspects. So here the output objective is in the form of signal to noise ratio. In short, we will say SN ratio. So why it is signal to noise ratio? Earlier this method was first invented on operation with respect to telecommunication. So there the signal as well as noise is the requirement. How to reduce the noise during the signal. So we kept the name signal to noise ratio and that's the output. And later on we are using the same term to get the output as of now. So here the word orthogonal is nothing but the number of experiments which you need to do. So see here L4, L8, L16, L32, L20, these things are nothing but number of experiments. L4, totally 4 experiments you need to perform to find out your solution. Number of experiment is sufficient. For 2 level with a 9 parameter, for full factorial design, 2 level with a 9 parameter, we have seen number of experiments. The material improvement rate should be higher. So more material should be removed during the machining process. For that, I can use larger the better SL ratio formula. So in the same machining process, the tool here should be minimum. The tool which I am using for the machining process should be minimum here. So I can use smaller the better. So for hydrogen production, the quantity of hydrogen which need to be produced must be higher. So if you are producing any compound, any substances for your chemical synthesis, the quantity of substances which you need to produce must be higher. So in that case, you can use larger the better formula. Wherever your objective is less minimum requirement, you can use smaller the better formula, this one. And wherever you need average values as your result, not higher or not an equal value, you need an average nominal value. There you can use nominal the best formula as your S solution. So this is one of the example we can form. So unloaded digestion of organic waste with the different process parameters. Here we have 5 different parameters, that is variables, with 4 different levels. So the 5 parameters are, this is solid concentration, the first one is solid concentration, second one is pH, third one is temperature, fourth one is CF ratio, and fifth one is pre-treatment technique. These 5 parameters we taken to optimize the biogas production through anaerobic digestion. So if we get solid concentration, we have 4 different levels. 5, 7.5, 10 and 12.5. Similarly for pH, we have 4 different levels, 6, 7, 8, 9. For the temperature, we have 30, 40, 50 and 60. So 4 different CM ratios and 4 different pre-treatment techniques. So if you want to use a full factorial design for this 5 factors and 4 levels, you need to use 4 raised to the power 5 number of experiments, which is nothing but 1024. More than 1000 number of experiments is required in full factorial design. But here, if we use double-G design of experiment, only 16 number of experiments will give you the optimum solution. Will give you the optimum solution. One thing here we need to remember is most of the people will think, some researchers also contacts me earlier, they used to say, when we perform so many experiments, we have so many data in our hand. Now we want to do some mathematical modeling or optimization or simulation. I will send you all the experimental data can you perform. So that is very difficult in design of experiments. So you did already experiments randomly, you have a lot of data, then with those data, if you want to perform optimization, that is very difficult. We can say no. So here, you need to make a design before starting your experiment. For this example, so before starting your experiment, before starting your digestion process, first you need to make a design by using orthogonal array. So this input control parameters, see this? This input control parameters is for design. So you have totally 16 number of experiment. The first experiment you need to perform by keeping solid concentration 5%, pH 6, temperature 30, CN ratio this one, and pre-treatment or treatment. You need to perform the experiment. Then you got this output response is nothing but your experimental result. Here I performed the experiment for the first combination. I got this much quantity of biogas production and this much percentage of relative solid and C-molecular efficiency. Similarly, for 60 experiment, for solid concentration level, these combinations I perform the experiment and I got this result. So all these columns, now there are columns, 3 columns, which is other causes or nothing but your experimental data. Then you go with the higher. So we selected a higher data. So system will run the analysis and it will give the SN ratios. These SN ratios, last 3 columns are your output after this. And last 3 columns and the SN ratios are the output which is obtained in the simulation process, statistical simulation process. So here you will get result line response table, with effect plot, interaction effect plot. So these results you can obtain. What is response table? See here all the 5 parameters what you have taken here and all the 4 levels what you have taken here. The last column, last row you can check, that will be required. The response table, the last row, you can find the rank, which is nothing but it shows the influential percentage of each parameters. Out of all 5 available parameters, pre-treatment effect is very much higher, followed by CPM ratio. Sorry, each and every parameter's interaction can be 5. These are our outputs. But this approach can make this little over. We can say for equal cool stars an optimization process, they can start from here, which is very fast, very simple, and easy to learn. But see here, this input control parameter is your design. So here you have different parameters and different levels. But the problem with this technique is you are defining the level. So this topic with this pH 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 different pH you are giving. So you will get the best one out of this score. Either it is 6 or 7, 8 or 9. Suppose 6.5 will be your best pH, you cannot find here. If 8.5 is your best pH, you cannot find here. If you take temperature 30, 40, 50, 60, if 43 degrees Celsius performs the best, you cannot find here. You can find the best solution from your given data. So to overcome these drawbacks, we can go with response surface methodology. This is also another design of experiment technology for optimization process. So here it integrates the statistical analysis with optimization techniques to systematically explore multivariable the response. So here we are using empirical data to create models that describe how it changes the independent variables. I will explain the difference. So these response surface methodology uses two different types of equations. The first one is linear model, and second one is polynomial or quadratic models. So linear model is used to solve simple problems with very less time. So quadratic model is used to solve the complex problem which needs very high accuracy. You don't need to type all these equations when you are solving. Already it is added in the software. Just you need to select whether you need a linear model or you need a quadratic model to solve your problems. Just by selecting the required equations, you can proceed for your analysis. And this one is the output which we can get from the response surface methodology. The first graph shows the sequential nature of the response surface methodology, and second graph shows the steepest ascent path. The first one is nothing but the result obtained from the quadratic model by interpreting the shape of the surface. The second graph is nothing but the representation of linear model through its coefficients. To see this, here we have so many terminologies. We have this entire contour lines, and we have here region of optimum. The small circular object is nothing but the region of optimum. But also we have current operating conditions. We have region of operability for the process. Here the contour lines on the graph represents the lines of equal response values, and the region of optimum is nothing but the area where is put as the region of optimum. So the path of improvement here, see, here to here, the path of improvement here indicates the direction in which changes will be made to the independent variables. So similarly, this one is for linear models. So our output will be like these surface parts. So we have surface with maximum, surface with minimum, and saddle surface. This your output will look like in response to the touching method. I said you will be having main part effect. You will be having interaction part effect, and you will be having responsiveness as an output. So here in response surface methodology, you will be having surface graphs. So if you select your output as a maximum value, you will be getting your surface graph like this. If your output objective is responses. Yeah, this is one more example which we carried out in this research work. So here we performed drilling characteristics of a polymer composites. So here the parameters which we taken are rotational speed, feed rate, and exon addition in percentage. So three different parameters. In Takuchi method, level also be given. If it is 3 level, so 500, 750 and 1000. If it is 3 different feed rates, 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, like that we have to give. Where in Takuchi method. And out of those 3, like 500, 750 and 1000 morphium, if I give, out of these 3, either 500 or 750 or 1000 will be your best. But the advantage of response surface methodology here is we don't need to do the levels. You have to give only the minimum and maximum values, the starting and ending values. That is -1 and +1. We can say technically here. So for rotational speed, the minimum is 500 RPM and the maximum is 1000 RPM. So for the feed rate, the minimum is 0.02 mm per revolution and the maximum is 0.06 per revolution. Similarly for external addition, 10 to 13%. Whatever the best result, suppose if it is 510 will be your best, starting from 500 RPM to 1000 RPM. If 510 or 512 is your best result, this OSM will say 520 RPM will be best. That is not possible with Takuchi method. So here we taken 3 different parameters. These are the levels. These are the experimental design. Then orthogonally we selected the right input parameters. Here we have 18 number of experiments. So 1, 2, 3. First 3 columns, OS, effort, and ESD are the parameters. So with these combinations, 18 number of experiments we performed. So after the experiment, we got the result, material removal rate and the surface roughness. So these values are your experimental results. As I said, to perform the optimization based on DOE, you need to carry out the experimentation based on the design you generated. So this is the design. And the last 2 columns are the experimental results. So here you got for each output response and one table for each output response. So here you got response surfaces. Also you can get desirability plot also from the analysis. So from this you can easily find which will be your best seed. We taken 500 RPM as the minimum value, the RPM as the maximum value, 912 RPM will give you the best result. Similarly for feed rate, 0.02 mm per revolution as a minimum and 0.06 mm per revolution as the maximum we have taken. So 0.054 you got the best. So like that you can get the accurate results from the response surface methodologies. These are the 2 optimization techniques. So now we are going to the third technique called fuzzy logic. So normally 5 techniques I will explain to you today. So the third technique here is called fuzzy. So here the fuzzy logic is a form of value logic that deals with the reasoning that is approximate rather than reasoning. So fuzzy logic is nothing but the advanced version of conventional logic. Those who are working with electrical engineering, electronics engineering, or computer people, data science people, you may be familiar with this Boolean logic fuzzy logic. Anyone can use this, not only mean for electronics or electrical engineers, but mostly they will use these techniques during their experiments. So this was it. The superset of conventional logic that has been extended to handle the concept of partial truth values, completely true or completely false. So earlier in conventional logic, there are only 2 options, yes or no. yes, or true or false. Zero lead to portions. But definitely there will be an intermediate balance also during the experience. Suppose your room it is gold, switch off that fan. Either switch on or switch on. That is possible with conventional logic. Then they modified, they upgraded, and they invented the fuzzy logic. What they have done, if it is too hot, switch on the fan. If it is too cold, switch off the fan. If it is a moderate temperature, in between different temperature value, you can increase the speed of the fan 1, 2, 3, or you can decrease the speed of the fan from 4 to 3, 3 to 2. Which means that in between 0 to 1 also, there are some values 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, 0.7 like that. So there is no only true or false answer. Intermediate solution also we can get by using fuzzy logic tables. So this coding logic is either white or black. But if you use fuzzy logic, you will be having white, black, and in between different variations. So for that, the fuzzy logic technique is used. And then the important term in fuzzy logic technique is membership function. It works, its analysis, it simulates using membership function. So membership function is nothing but a mathematical equation or a mathematical function which defines how each and individual element is mapped together with the degree of membership between the 0 to 1, because the minimum is 0, maximum is 1. So we have different types of membership function: triangle, trapezoid, cosine, and then. So based on the type of membership function you are using for your analysis, you will be having your results or your graphs like triangle, like shape, or trapezoidal shapes. These are some of the examples. So here, one of the examples we can use to perform the fuzzy logic prediction for the pyramid type solar state. So here the parameters are solar intensity, the water depth in your solar state, and also the addition of single random quality constant artificial neural network state that are pretty famous comparatively. So I hope many of you know the neurons which receives signal from the other neurons, which acts as an input option. So it receives the signals from different neurons and it sends to the cell body for the analysis. So it receives the signals. So it acts as an input parameters. And the next one is yes, the cell body, which is nothing but processes the incoming signals from the chemicals. And then the processed signal is taken to the axon terminals through this axon. The axon is nothing but the passage which transmits the processed signal from the cell body to the output system or the after cells for further analysis. To the terminals, the axon connects to other neurons or nuclear to transfer the signals. So this is our biological neuron. The brain. Similarly, the artificial neuron was designed to perform as like the neural networks. So seriously, dendrites are there, which receives the signal which transfers to the cell body. Here the analysis taken place, it is processed through the axon, and finally here we have axon terminal. So if the process is over, the axon terminal is connected to the output system. Suppose if it is only partially completed, it is connected to the other system for further analysis. So this is how this actually it works. simulation. These are nothing but the connections between the neurons in the biological system. ANN, they represents the rays assigned to the connections between the neurons. So we have two types of learning, ANN, supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is nothing but already you have a reference value. The neural net is said to be supervised if the desired output is already known. You know the reference value, you know what will be the solution. So by keeping the reference value, the cell coordinate processes the signals, it compares with the available data, then it sends the output to the output system. Whereas in unsupervised learning, you don't have any reference, you don't have any known variables. So without providing any reference data, without having any reference data, the performance, the processing happens and the output is passed through the system. That is called unsupervised learning. Normally, through supervised learning, you can complete the analysis very fast. It is time-saving process because already there are some references. It is very simple. Through unsupervised learning, it takes more time and it is very complex process compared to regular normal process. So here the lesser thought is nothing but a simple type of artificial neuron, which we already see, which have the extended right cell body, axon, terminal axon. So each structure is called as the neuron, and we have different layers of the subplots here. So each layer has an important architecture, which including input layer, data layer, output layer, and cell bases. Each layer has this layer you can select based on the complexity of the problem. If it is very simple problem, which involves only two parameters or two or three levels, you can go with single layer. If it involves multiple parameters and if it involves multiple levels, you can go for the multiple layer. If it is very complex system, you can go for feed-forward propagations. So mostly for unsupervised learning, you can go for feed-forward propagation because it returns the data back to the system and it will carry out the analysis to make the optimized solution. If you have already the known data, like supervised learning, you can go with single or multi-layer response. So we perform some analysis, enhancement of surface quality of IDA. This is the optimal solutions which we got. And the last one. So first we have seen biology, second we have seen the sport surface methodology, followed by physics. And then last we have seen that the combination of fuzzy logic and the neural network. We have seen fuzzy logic separate, which functions based on membership function. Artificial neural network separate, which works like a human brain. And also it has input membership function and output membership function. The combination of both artificial neural networks plus human fuzzy interface systems. So in this technique, the ANN manages learning, adaptation, optimization, and parameter tuning. Because if you don't have the data, it needs to tune the parameter until the processed value comes to minimize the error. At the same time, the fuzzy manages precipitation, rule-based, and diffuse mutation. So compared to the individual ANN and individual fuzzy system, so this hybrid technique will give you the better performance and better results, but little complicated and little time consuming. Even though it consumes more time, your results, the output what it achieved will be very much higher. So these are some of the problems which we learn from practice techniques. So apart from these 5 techniques, there are a lot of artificial intelligence techniques which recently people are using to solve their problems, like decision trees, approval tasks, articles, mounted ratio, or genetic algorithms, and even in artificial networks recently, the advanced versions like current neural network. By adding the deep learning techniques, not that is deep learning. So these things are there. Still, I am also some new techniques used in my research. So each and every day when I am referring the literatures, when I am going through these articles, again there are many new techniques, algorithms on AI-based organizations. Okay, we will learn from the so as of now that technology was the data requirement and how is implemented. So for the tools, we need limited experimental data. We don't need extensive. So the awesome is you need extensive data, whereas the accuracy needs more quantity of data for the performance. So coming to the accuracy, so moderate accuracy with the accuracy and efficacy. So the kind of accuracy with respect to origin, aim and this. So if you want to implement these techniques, the easiest technique with the short activity of the strategy, the relative operating or some accuracy. The aim and is a little complex, but even though it is complex, you will be having very high accuracy and very high data without error. Without error is impossible with very less error. Okay, so here I'm stopping my presentation. So I want to explain you the in-depth of the just I explained you what is optimization techniques and the 5 different techniques what I know, what I used for my research process. I have given a outline. If you want to learn about this, for each and every techniques, we need to do a previous section. Like by explaining the theory content, the different software, we can do the hands-on training. So if we take another, maybe 2 or 3 others, we can give hands-on training, we can select level, we can select parameter. After experimental lab, we can handle the experimental data, how we can extract the descent ratio values, like that. So this is just an introduction about few available optimization techniques. So those who are at the initial stage of research, those who register PhD, or those who are going to based on your experiments, you can proceed because these days publication is mandatory for MAC, MBA, autonomous, or promotions. But if you have only raw experiments, very difficult to push the papers to the journals. If you learn any one techniques, and if you combine your experimental part with these techniques, the journal also selects paper compare with your project. So you can try to learn, you can try to implement. If you have any further doubts about how we can solve, how we can add data, or when you are working, if you get any error, how to overcome the error. So you can contact any time through email, so you will be available to review training. Thank you for the opportunity and audience any questions and hear your answers.
Very good, informative. Analytical, statistical data. Presentation given by Dr. Deepan Das announced the answer very from the audience.
leaders from the names of the group. If not, you are welcome at any time. So you can contact me at any time, even after starting your work or after you perform some simulations also. You are welcome.
So, one
Yeah.
very from my perspective.
Yes.
So, while comparison, you mentioned that A and FI as salary is far better than A and
Okay. Yeah. Yes, it's because in ANN, only we are using artificial neural network techniques to solve the problem. When you are going for ANFIS, it performs the works of ANN, the process of ANN. In addition to that, it performs the process of fuzzy interface also. It is a hybrid technique which includes your ANN and also your fuzzy. So definitely the accuracy of ANFIS will be little higher than your ANN. The error will be little less than your ANN. ANN is one of the advanced technique compared to your coaching or compared to your process like that. But still, ANFIS will be little advanced than your ANN. And still, in ANN, we are using deep learning, and that is DLL. Still, I am not familiar with that term. I am trying to learn. So those are the hybrid techniques of artificial neural network, which has higher accuracy and better result.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So in other ways,
Thank you very much, sir, for your much informative presentation. The conventional and conventional optimization techniques, including Tabaxu method of design, response theory, and main effects, response surface method, fuzzy logic technique, efficient development method, and the ANFIS techniques. Thank you very much, sir.
So thank you very much for all the recent committee members, the coordinators of this conference for making such a beautiful event. So thank you participants for the patiently listening from the past level. So I always happy to time also clarifications and like that. So we will meet on some other occasions if possible.
It's a time for oral presentation.
Okay, so can you for myself it's fine, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's a time for oral presentation.
Yeah, what's right? Madam, you unmute your mic and start your presentation. Madam, please unmute your mic. Madam, please unmute your mic, ma'am.
Sir, we will do second presentation, sir.
Yes, madam.
Okay, let us oral presentation of
Start your presentation, madam. First participant is not available.
Can you help me, sir?
Madam, besides audio button, there will be a share button in there, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Share button.
Click on that, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Now we will do your presentation.
Okay, sir. My presentation. Appu share my PPT.
Madam, click on share button and select your window.
Sir, window.
When you click on share button,
Okay, sir.
on window, select window, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Window registration.
Keep quiet.
Yes, sir. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Sir, is it visible, sir?
All of you keep quiet.
Good evening, respected judges. Madhu, my dear parents. My name is Samina from 2nd PSC Legal Ministry. Today, I am going to present on the topic Daily Guide Behavior, Health and Eco-Wellness Student. I studied how you balance traditions and modern. Let's help them make smart choices. The rural modern parents. Rural youth occupy a uniquely vulnerable position anchored by tradition and full system morality. My survey shows that youth are stuck between technology and customs. So,
Sir, exchange is available. Change your right. Okay. Take a look, sir. Is it visible, sir? Is it visible? Okay. Okay, sir. Now, is it visible, sir?
Madam, just click the screen button.
Sir?
You go to the share button. Click on share button, madam.
Yes, sir.
After that, what is this full name?
So may I ask something? This girl's PPT is also there,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Now it is shared. Now it is shared, ma'am. Continue.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Full screen mode, madam. Please click on full screen mode. Or press F5, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Oh, that's visible, ma'am. But it is not in full screen mode. Okay, ma'am. Continue.
Now, it is.
Madam,
Okay, sir.
second slide is the rural modern parents. Rural youth can occupy a uniquely vulnerable position anchored by tradition and fueled by digital modeling. My survey shows that youth stuck between modern life and technology. So give them balance to balance both for a better future. Next slide. Next slide. what we set out to discuss. Our goal is not merely to observe, but to inform, starting a blind change in intervention. I study youth behavior, health, and awareness. So, use these developments improve their lives, youth lives. And lifestyle shifts primarily the transition towards the commercial junk food, the true psychological and behavioral impact of daily screen time, the develop evidence-based recommendation for educators, parents, and policymakers, assess baseline environment awareness and sustainable practices, identify the gap between the youth knows is help versus what they act. How I conducted the study. I conducted the study with survey with 100 questions and interviews in the village. So, apply these insights. It is very helpful for you. This youth is 13 to 25 from diverse socio-economic backgrounds in rural development. A structured 100 questions survey spanning 6 critical life domains. Direct in-person interviews to ensure clarity, trust, and maximum participation.
Please click on the slide which you are presenting. Only slide one is displaying here. Click on the slide which you are going to present. Or go to slide.
Sir, we are pressing, we are pushing, sir, but it is not visible to you. Okay, sir. We will go for slide sharing.
With nutrient family, they exercise, but they often outside food. So it is very dangerous to their health. A generation in transition. High awareness is fighting a lasting battle against sunlight convenience and addiction. Youth knows health, awareness, and environment, but they choose conveniences and screen time. So create awareness on the healthy habitual food and balancing disturbance. The taste paradox, diet versus species. We know it's harmful, but we buy it anyway. Drivers like screen and the feed group. 42% and 32% people consume purely for taste, and delivery apps have successfully penetrated deep into rural settings. 1,500 to 3,000 monthly spending creating massive strain on the low-income families. Fees over at 55% actively support stricter government regulations on junk food. The screen and trap. Connectivity has arrived in rural India, but it brought sleep disruption and addiction with it. Psychological toll of modernity. Self-awareness is incredibly high. The youth recognize these issues and express a genuine desire to change. The green limiting eco-consciousness. There is a huge community demand on aggressively integrate sustainable development into school curricula. It will further develop very helpful to the school and children's students etc. The diagnosis, awareness versus action. People know junk food causes obesity and heart diseases, but they spend up to 3,000 per month on delivery apps. They know social media causes stress and harm focus, but they consume 2 to 4 hours of screen time daily. A climate change is a critical threat they know, but they 78% are aware, but only 28% buy eco-friendly. Dismantling the invisible barriers. To empower the youth, we must first dismantle the invisible barriers surrounding them. The blueprint for the sustainable change. Transforming awareness into actions requires a united front from the entire community like schools, policymakers, parents, youth, etc. Architects of the tomorrow. The youth of the Bhutan reflects a much larger, urgent national challenge. They are not past victims of modernity. They are highly self-aware and actively ready for change. The gap between knowing and doing can be closed through targeted education, community, support, and policy. With the right scaffolding,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Next, shall we share, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All slides are visible, sir.
Yes, madam.
Did you
Yes,
did
ma'am.
you see all the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Now we will continue, sir.
Okay.
Now she is here with us, sir.
A fine evening to everyone presented here. My name is Yogita Sri Kosala. Currently studying second year BSc Chemistry major at CHSC St. Teresa's College for Women, Elur. And today I am going to give a presentation on the topic about a study on youth behavior patterns and lifestyle influences. Insights from urban India. And this project studies the behavior, social habits, health and environmental awareness among the urban youth in India. And due to urbanization and also the digital media, youth lifestyle is changing gradually. And a survey was conducted over 650 urban youth by using a question. This project consists of 6 sections. First one, demographic,
Madam, presentation.
lifestyle.
Presentation not visible.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
అది జనాలు లేదు.
Is it visible, sir?
No, ma'am. No, madam. It's not visible. Please go to the share button and select the presentation. Open window.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
This project was structured with 6 main sections and they are demographics, lifestyle, junk food, social media, behavioral changes, and sustainable development. First, according to my survey, these are some findings, and first one is demography. And most of the people, were aged around 15 to 18, and they are all undergraduates in nuclear families. And also they were moderately participated in the extracurricular activities. And second one, lifestyle. Social media and junk food habits are influence the lifestyle. Third one, junk food habits. Junk food habits. And there is a high consumption of junk food and no physical activities is also observed according to my survey. And 38% people report that they are gaining weight, and also they prefer taste over home food, and also the home cooked meals. Fourth one, social media. Social media usage is very high, and examples like mostly in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, etc. It impacts their productivity, mental health, and also their sleep schedule. Fifth one, behavioral changes. There are lots of behavioral changes are observed in nowadays in the youth. That there are common problems are like stress, mood swings, impatience, and also less focus on the work. Sustainability development or sustainability awareness. Sustainability awareness is very low, and also few people are using the eco-friendly products. Main issues, according to youth opinions, the main issues were technology addiction, stress, career concerns, environmental action, low environmental I'm going to conclude this by saying that urban youth is strongly influenced with the dietary habits and also the youth people by maintaining perfect guidance. By the proper guidance, you can adopt healthier and sustainable lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, next present చేసేమంటారా?
Madam, continue, madam. Continue, madam.
Okay. Next. Sir, are you taking any photographs, sir?
Yes, ma'am. We are taking screenshots, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Kindly send me, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Sir, is it visible, sir?
No, ma'am.
Sir, is it visible?
No, ma'am. It is not visible. Yes, madam. Now it is visible.
Okay. Yes.
A very good evening to everyone present at conference and here. My name is Madhu Atla and I am currently pursuing second year basic chemistry major at CHSC St. Teresa's College for ALU. I am in front of you to give a presentation on community service project on youth behavior. My project survey involved aspects like introduction, aims, objectives, methodology, findings, results, resolutions, recommendations, findings, and conclusion. I will explain step by step. Coming to introduction,
Nagalakshmi, adjust your camera and
youth
sit in
today
the
are at
middle.
the center of
Nagalakshmi, adjust your camera and sit in the middle. Because we need to take the screenshot of your image. Yes, okay. Now it is okay. Continue.
Coming to introduction, youth today are at the center of rapid social, technological, and environmental change. As the most dynamic and adaptable segment of the population, their lifestyle choices and behaviors have a significant effect on the personal well-being as well as the future of the society. Aim to study and analyze the lifestyle of patterns, behaviors, health habits, social media usage, and mental awareness among youth in order to identify key challenges faced by today's youth. Objectives. My objectives are to collect and analyze demographic data of youth participants in my survey to understand their background and their lifestyle patterns and to identify behavioral changes in youth related to technology use, social pressure faced by them. Methodology. This project survey uses a demographic survey, research design, convenience sampling, questionnaire to gather quantitative and qualitative data on youth lifestyle, their behavior, their health habits, social media usage, and environmental awareness. Results. Coming to results, youth today are somewhat more stressed than the previous generations. So overall stress levels remain similar. When we compare with previous generations, they were cool and calm, without any social media usages and influenced by electronic gadgets. Now this generation was very stressed with the social media uses. They were much influenced than previous generations. The biggest behavioral challenge facing by today's youth, according to my youth respondents, is addiction to social media and electronic gadgets. Resolution. My resolutions by this conversations, we can focus on positive habits. Skill development, civic engagement, it includes like new language learning, well-being, healthy habits, developing goal-setting skills. Findings are declining attention spans. By over influenced by the apps or social media, nowadays youth are unable to attention in their studies. Disinterest in academic activities. They are not interested to participate in extracurricular activities in schools or colleges due to distractions, stress, and anxiety, depression, stress levels. Recommendations. Parents and teachers and community leaders should be encouraged to model positive, respectful, and responsible behavior. Through college mentors or school mentors, including their family support, can change youth's behavior. Strong family support work can are key to shaping healthy behavior. Conclusion. Coming to conclusion, youth behavior is shaped by a combination of individual, family, peer, and societal factors. With this survey project, I came to know that and I learned the things like mobility, interaction with new people, and I learned to become myself like interacting with new people and training new knowledge and technical skills like PPT presentations, and we also communication skills like interacting with new people, respecting elders, and changing ourselves to maintain a healthy diet to avoid junk foods and all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bhavani. I am from second BSc Chemistry from CHSD ST Teresa's College for Women. Today I am here to presenting topic on analytical study of youth behavior. Okay. To understand youth habits around health, social media, and sustainability, to promote a balanced and responsible lifestyle. Introduction. Present condition facing many challenges like unhealthy lifestyle and social media usage, behavioral change, and sustainable development challenges. So we gather their opinions and recommendations for a better lifestyle. Objectives. To examine the impact of junk food, social media, and environmental awareness on youth behavior, we suggested healthier and more sustainable lifestyle choices for youth. Methodology. We surveyed 100 youth people around 15 to 25 ages to answer a set of questions. We choose people who we look at their answers using simple methods to understand the results. Demographic and lifestyle. The majority of participants are aged 19 to 22 ages, with 58% being female. Around 40% engaged in at least 30 minutes for physical activities. Junk food and health. About 28% consume junk food daily, 36% are unaware of its health risks, and 24% reports feeling very tired after eating junk food. Social media. Most of the people are using social media daily for entertainment, and some people feel addicted to the phones and internet. They are reporting negative effects on sleep, focus, and mental health. Sustainability. 40% of people aware of climate changes and they have low recycling and eco-friendly habits. Young people use phones and internet a lot. This is linked to stress and changing behavior. They are getting used to doing things easily or online and are depending more on it. Findings. High uses of gadgets and increasing distances, and low participate in environmental actions, poor dietary habits, and low level of physical activity. Recommendations. To promote sustainability, physical activities, and mental health awareness in schools, encouraging digital balance and regular junk supports. Intelligence from youth, parents, educators, and policymakers is essential to derive lasting health lifestyle changes. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Next,
Lighting. అక్కడ కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి.
ఏం పేరు?
now we plan to continue the offline session. All the participants can leave the meeting. Thank you. Thank you all.
Studying at the Department of Chemistry, Acharya Nagarjuna University. Today, I would like to present my project work, a study that focuses on magnesium oxide nanoparticle for investigation of latent fingerprints in forensic science. Magnesium oxide nanoparticles are the nanoscale inorganic material with a high surface area and excellent chemical stability. They are simply ionic compound typically possessing a cubic structure. Magnesium oxide nanoparticles readily reacts with the molecules like amino acids, fatty acids and lipids because they highly interact acid-base interactions due to the strong electrostatic force of attraction between the polar molecules. The magnesium oxide nanoparticles are prepared by the flower extract using the green chemistry principles. So we collected the fresh and healthy clitorate ornata flowers, commonly known as the butterfly pea flowers. Butterfly pea flowers naturally acts as a reducing and stabilizing agents. So we choose these flowers. So the fresh and healthy flowers were collected at the campus of Acharya Nagarjuna University, and they were subjected to maceration, and the extract was prepared by using the distilled water as a green solvent. And we took some of the flower extract, to which we added magnesium nitrate as a starting material, and to this content we added sodium hydroxide to maintain the pH throughout the entire reaction. So the contents were subjected to 3 hours at room temperature. During this procedure, a greenish color colloid starts to form, which is magnesium hydroxide. It is a precursor for the magnesium oxide nanoparticle. This is the schematic representation of what we did. We collected the flowers and we prepared the flower extract, and we took the flower extract, to it we added magnesium nitrate and sodium hydroxide, and the contents were subjected to continuous stirring for 3 hours at room temperature. After 3 hours, upon formation of the colloid was centrifuged and separated by using a centrifugation machine. Then from now on, the common method to synthesize any metal nanoparticle is by calcination, but we intentionally skipped the calcination step to preserve the natural colored pigments onto the surface of the nanoparticle, which will enhance the latent fingerprints development. So we also done the calcination. So we produced 2 products. One is pigment resistant magnesium oxide nanoparticle, and the other one is calcined pure magnesium oxide nanoparticle. The pigment resistant magnesium oxide nanoparticle will be in dark greenish color due to the organic matter from the flower extract will embed on the surface of the metal nanoparticle. In calcination step, the organic matter will completely degrade upon to form the white pure magnesium oxide nanoparticle. Both the nanoparticles were subjected to development of the latent fingerprints in the crime scene investigation. And this is the UV visible characterization for the starting material magnesium nitrate and the flower extract and the magnesium oxide nanoparticle. The peaks at the 576 and 620 nanometer indicates the presence of the polyphenols and anthocyanins and polar compounds from the flower extract. And the 267 and 295 nanometer peaks indicates that the magnesium nitrate, the starting material, is completely reduced to magnesium oxide nanoparticle. And this is the IR spectral data for the flower extract and the pigment resistant magnesium oxide nanoparticle and also the pure calcined magnesium oxide nanoparticle. And you can see from 1500 to 1000 centimeter, there is a deviation in the pigment resistant magnesium oxide nanoparticle. It is due to the presence of the plant organic matter on the surface of the metal nanoparticle. And at here, the pure calcium magnesium oxide nanoparticle, there is no peaks at 1500 to 1000 because the plant organic matter is completely degraded during the procedure of calcination. And both the nanoparticles were subjected to development of the latent fingerprints, and this is the subject's left hand used for the development of the fingerprints. And the above fingerprints were collected by using the magnesium oxide nanoparticle, which was pigment assisted. That's why it is dark green in color. And the fingerprints below were collected using the activated carbon, which is a regular powder used in the forensic crime scenes. Also, the expensive materials like silver nanoparticle and gold nanoparticles were also used. So, we compared with the activated carbon. You can see the vast difference between the two of the fingerprints, where with the magnesium oxide nanoparticle, the fingerprints were much more clear and with the individual rich patterns. Where in case of the activated carbon, the fingerprints were sticky and messy. It will be difficult to identify the fingerprints. And based on the characteristics of the magnesium oxide nanoparticle, the calcium form was in pure white color. So the calcium magnesium oxide nanoparticle were used on the dark surfaces like this bottle, mobile phone and films. And the pigment resistant nanoparticle, which was in dark green color, was used on the light surfaces like switchboards, door handles and funnels, etc. In conclusion, both the nanoparticles were used in the development of the forensic latent fingerprints. Both showed the excellent adherence and chemical stability in the development of the forensic latent fingerprints. So the magnesium oxide nanoparticles will be a best alternative for the development of the forensic latent fingerprints with compared to expensive materials like gold and silver nanoparticles, also with the activated carbon. And I would like to end it here. Thank you for giving this talk.
So the flower actually have taken is in blue color,
Yes, sir.
but the nanoparticle is in green color.
Yes, sir. Because we added sodium hydroxide to maintain the pH. So when we added sodium hydroxide to the flower extract actually contains the anthocyanins and polyphenols, which are acidic. When the acid-base reactions happens, the color will be reduced to green form, which will indicate the acid-base neutralization has happened. So that's why the nanoparticle has gotten the green color.
So have you tested it?
Yes, sir.
Acidity tested.
Yes, sir. We mentioned everything in the full-length paper, but it's almost 13 slides, so we had to cut down everything. Thank you.
evening, everyone. I'm C.H. Precious, studying BTech first year in IT department from Madhu Atla Engineering College. I'm presenting the topic about the rise of artificial intelligence in everyday life. What is exactly AI? AI is a mission, artificial intelligence is a mission or computer. It acts like it learns or acts like a human. It acts like a computer, means understanding information or taking an information. It acts like human, means it takes a speech or text from ChatGPTs or Google Assistants. Technologies involved in AI, machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. Machine learning enables machine to learn from data without explicitly being programmed. Examples of YouTube, and it recommends or suggested what we have seen earlier in that YouTube, Netflix, or Flipkart, Amazon. And natural language processing helps machines understood and process human language, speech or text like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistants or ChatGPT. It gives us information, what you have text or what you have speech about it. And computer vision allows machine to see and interrupt missions. We can take a calls from online, from computer vision like Instagram, Facebook, or Zoom. We can meet anyone from one country to another country or one state to another state. And AI in everyday life. Examples: voice assistants, navigation and maps, smart homes, online shopping, banking and security, recommendations. These are the examples in everyday life. Benefits of AI. It saves our time. We can do our work easier and enhances efficiency by automating daily tasks, improve accuracy, automation. Challenges of AI. We will lose our jobs because of AI. And data privacy issues, ethical decision making, job loss, increased dependence. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
These three oral presentations, today's session is yours. Thank you for your patience.
You